More on this. Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Last night on The Five, I said DEI was like a tapeworm. Got in there and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Ilhan Omar, of course, the congresswoman, you know her. She didn't like this. Listen to her here.
It's incredibly alarming. We as a country strive to create a more equitable space for everyone. When they talk about creating a more efficient workplace, that is what DEI hires essentially do.
In your experience in the government, how did DEI affect day-to-day operations?
It killed productivity because no longer did you want to put your very best in, because that's not how you were promoted. You were promoted by your sexuality, promoted by the color of your skin. But then it infiltrated business. We've watched it go across. So America was losing productivity throughout business. This is a major cultural change that gets us back to the heart of the core of what America is. Everybody has an opportunity, but it's based upon your own skill and merit of what you put in. This will have everlasting changes and make America much stronger.
So that's one change. Here's another one. Come back to work, like full time. Here's the memo for federal workers in Washington. The only way to get employees back to the office is to adopt a centralized policy requiring return to work for all agencies across the federal government. Seeking to cajole individual agencies to try to get employees to return to the work site has not succeeded. How you lived and worked in Washington? How's that going to go over?
Well, let me tell you this. When we took the majority in the House 2 years ago, this is one of the bills we passed out of the House that Schumer actually killed in the Senate, and the president fought hard. Even in the last days before he left office, he wanted to cut a deal with the union long term so people would not have to return. This is what makes people so upset about government. Government should work for them. And you know what? COVID was over, so when we ended COVID, people should be back. It's providing service to the constituents. Nobody's there. And why are we spending money if half of the workforce, federal workforce, is not back at work? Do you need that larger workforce? Or do you need that asset of those buildings? Those were the assets you could actually sell, pay down the debt, and another place that America could become stronger and more efficient and more accountable.
Let's talk about your home state of California. And President Trump will be traveling there tomorrow. He'll be doing some touring of the damage from the wildfires. Here's what he said to Sean Hannity last night.
Remember when I took criticism because I said you have to manage your fires? Look at what happened. Los Angeles, that's like a nuclear weapon went off, what's happened to Los Angeles. And, you know, that thing went for 4 or 5 days. Nobody was even fighting it because they didn't have any water. Their fire departments aren't funded properly.
And we see there was a photo of you touring in 2018 when President Trump went and met with Gavin Newsom. It's a different feeling right now in terms of what state and local officials did not do to protect those homes in California.
Well, it's very frustrating because when I went with President Trump, we went out to the Paradise Fire where 85 Californians died. Then we flew down and went to the Malibu fire. And I sat there and listened to President Trump tell Gavin Newsom, who's been in office for more than 12 years, you've got to take out this brush because a fire will burn, but not if it doesn't have fuel. And then when you talk about water, the President Trump, it actually worked because in Northern California is where our water, where our snowpack is, it gets sent down south. He continues to send it out to the ocean. But what's even worse than a derelict duty here is in L.A. County, they did not have a backup generator. But if you just go over to Hermosa Beach that has a water system by a private water company, they have a backup generator. So it wouldn't go out. It would be prepared. It's all these mishaps. Then the insurance, many people have lost their insurance down there before this fire took place. There's this devastating story of a grandfather of a friend. He did not leave the house because his insurance was canceled 6 months before, nothing that he had done. So he stayed there, defaulted, and lost his life. This is again, Gavin Newsom has failed California in so many different ways. And one of the core jobs of elected official, private safety, make sure you have the protection protection when it comes to a fire. The fundamental things you should do, and he's calling a special election, worried about what Trump may do in the future. He should have listened to Trump when we were with him on the last fire and learned from that before he took office.
Well, pay attention to that tomorrow and the days to come, and we will bring that to everyone live. Kevin McCarthy, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.